It's time for an update here at Crappie Hippie at the Bench. Brought to you by Glasswater Angling for a better outdoors, makers of lead-free fishing tackle. Find us at glasswaterangling.com. Hey everybody, welcome to Crappie Hippie at the Bench. Well, we got to get out and go test that powder puff jig that I made in episode 1 of What Kathy Brought Me. Here we are at the tail race. The birds were flying around everywhere. We thought we were going to have a real fine day of catching some fish. But apparently, when the pelicans are in the tail race real thick like that, it means the shad are actually pretty big. And so the crappie and white bass fishing was kind of slow. So I was there with my good buddy, the professor, Les Cline, and we call him the professor because he knows everything about the outdoors. And he was there to help me take a look at the jig and just provide some good company. And we hung out with the pelicans and tested out that powder puff jig that I made with that crazy yarn Kathy brought me. Now you can see that the marabou gives it a really good action in the water. I will say it absorbed a lot of water, had a lot of water resistance, got real heavy in the water, but that big fat design certainly kept it snagless in those rocks. It would not want to fall down in them. I fished it on the bottom all morning. But Les looked at it and he said, you know what, next time you build one, try trimming it out. So when he came over next, we had a trimming contest.
What I'm doing right here, when you see it on the camera, it's like I'm just roughing it out. I'm getting all these fibers to try to stand out straight in a 360 degree on all sides. Yeah, and you know what works good? It's like a gun cleaning bore brush, you know? Those like copper bore brushes.
Yeah.
Those make great dubbing brushes. They're real grabby.
Okay, so I went ahead and sped this up a little bit because watching someone trim out a jig in real time can get a little tedious. Note that he starts off with some big cuts because he's just getting going, so you rough it in and kind of just take some big cuts and remove a lot of material at once. Naturally, the professor has some really nice, cool, gold-plated scissors with super sharp blades, and when you can afford that kind of equipment, get that kind of equipment, but don't not tie jigs because you can't get the very best of everything, because you know my little Westcott scissors that I buy at Walmart work just fine, and they'd work just fine for this. Although I do switch to my fine scissors as well when it comes my turn, because the finer blades give you a lot more control, even though this is a pretty big jig. This is about a 3-inch jig. Okay, so he's worked it down. Look at how tight he's made that body. Look at all the material that's come off of there. And that's the thing I loved about this dense material, because it shapes up so nicely. I mean, I'm going to tie up like a half dozen or a dozen of these and to just kind of sit around in front of the TV or listening to a podcast, and I'm going to trim them out into that shape. So it's going to give me that slow, that water resistance, that kind of drifty, kind of slow fall. It's going to give me a lot of feel with the bait, and it's still probably going to be kind of fat enough it doesn't want to get down in the cracks, but it's just going to be a super enticing shape with a super enticing body feel for the fish when they hit it. I just think it's going to be an outstanding bug, and I can't wait until I can add some of these to my tackle box. All right. Okay, pretty good, Prof.
Kind of a shad shape, flat on top, nice little belly on the bottom. What do you think?
I like the shad shape. All right, let's see what Hippie can do now. Ha-ha!
All right, Hippie.
Let's see.
Bring it, Hippie.
Bring it, you rancorous fool. All right, here we go. Okay, so here I go. I start trimming on mine, and as you can see, I'm roughing it in rather quickly. Yes, I do have this sped up. But, you know, you just rough it in, you knock off a lot of material, and you kind of get your idea. Now I'm wishing I had little Barbie size trimmer to just trim it like a little dog. And trim that center section out, because what I'm going to do is make a center section of tightly trimmed material, have a collar, and kind of a fan tail. So right now I am using my fine scissors, but I'm just kind of getting that middle defined so that I know where I'm going to want my collar, and I know where I'm going to want my tail, and I'm going to know how big I want each element. But now, as I get going, we're going to talk about the jig, we're going to slow down, we're going to look at it, and we're going to start bringing it into shape.
2 different types of material. Yeah, that's taking shape.
I think I should take the collar down a little
I'd take some more off the front.
Off the front side?
I mean off the middle, to make the front
the collar
just a little smaller.
Thinner collar.
That's just me.
Well, you know, I was thinking the same thing. I cut a little off front. Well, I don't want the collar too far back though. So yeah, make it.
See, that's a good.
That'll move it more to the front.
That's a good. A lot of jig tying and stuff is like managing materials. It's like, okay, how am I going to cut this?
Well, and it's like, you know, when that gets in the water,
forward,
it's gonna be right in there.
Yeah.
It's gonna pulse right in.
Yeah.
That little gap. So I don't want to make it too short. I still want it to reach the tail. Well, I guess it won't matter whether it reaches the tail section or not. You know, this dude's right here, right now.
There you go.
Think so?
I was going to say that front collar, you could, not that you need to, you could taper it from the head back down to the narrow waist.
No, like this?
Yeah. Not that you need to, but that would just be another way to kind of highlight that center section. Would give a little more.
Yeah. And I could, boy, if I was good like, what's that stylist that everybody loves so much?
Oh, yeah, I know.
Jonathan Van Ness. Yeah. I could cut hair like that and do the chicka 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 chicka. Yeah, I could get these perfectly pointed. Perfectly pointed.
I would end up with no fingertips after the
Yeah,
first
that would
show.
be me too. Yeah.
I just cut my fingertip off.
Style on the stream. With Jonathan. Jonathan inspired. Oh yeah, good. I like it now.
Yeah.
I wish I could get the taper even better.
There you go. There you go.
The taper's making it.
It's all about the taper.
The taper's making it, of course. There we go. I'm gonna flip
Like
it
it.
over. Clean them up just a little bit. There. Yeah. Stop while you're ahead, Dippo. Stop while you're ahead, Dippo.
You'll work with it until it's all gone.
Yeah. Oh, that's me. And once I get past my fear of getting started, then it's like, you've had it. All right. Well, anyway, there you have it. That's my version. So you got the professor's pink shad versus my, I don't know what to call this. The
Collared killer.
I just came home and a white bass tried to kill and eat me, and now my fins are standing on end. Yeah, no, the killer woolly or whatever this one is here. So, all right. It's been Crappie Hippie, your tree-hugging redneck from eastern Kansas, saying tight lines and Valentines. Peace out.